Could we be witnessing the beginning of the end for LeBron James in Los Angeles? The unthinkable is starting to feel inevitable as mounting evidence suggests. The King might not finish the 2025-26 season in purple and gold, and the shocking reasons behind this potential mid-season trade will leave every Lakers fan questioning everything they thought they knew about their franchise's priorities. The writing on the wall has been appearing in bold letters for months now, but most of us have been too emotionally invested to read it clearly. Grant Hughes from Bleacher Report just spelled out what many insiders have been whispering about. Behind closed doors, LeBron James will be traded during the 2025-26 season. Not maybe, not possibly, will be, and when you examine the evidence he's presenting, the logic becomes disturbingly undeniable. Let's start with the most painful truth that Lakers fans need to confront. LeBron is no longer the Lakers' top priority. The Luka Doncic acquisition has fundamentally shifted the franchise's focus from maximizing LeBron's remaining years to building around their new cornerstone for the next decade. This isn't just speculation. It's reflected in every major organizational decision over the past several months. The failure to secure a contract extension during the offseason speaks volumes about where both sides stand. When a player of LeBron's caliber and historical significance can't get his deal done with the team he brought a championship to, that's not about money or contract terms. That's about fundamental disagreements regarding the direction of the franchise and his role within it. Hughes makes a devastating point when he discusses the front office's refusal to go all-in on championship pursuit last summer. For an organization that's historically been willing to mortgage its future for immediate title shots, their conservative approach to roster construction sends a clear message. They're no longer building around LeBron James, they're building around Luka Doncic. And LeBron has become an expensive obstacle to that vision rather than an essential component. The psychological reality of this situation cannot be ignored. LeBron James has never, in his entire 22-year career, accepted a secondary role on any team. He's been the undisputed alpha, the primary decision maker, the player around whom every strategic decision revolves. The idea that he would suddenly embrace a complementary role at age 40, especially when that team isn't even a legitimate championship contender, defies everything we know about his competitive DNA. But here's where the situation becomes truly heartbreaking for anyone who's followed LeBron's journey. For the first time in his career, he's not the most valuable asset on his own team. That's not an indictment of his current abilities. His 2024-25 numbers were absolutely spectacular, participating in 70 games while averaging 24 points, 8.2 assists, and 7.8 rebounds on 51.3% shooting represents production that would be impressive. For a player 10 years younger, the problem isn't LeBron's current performance. The problem is that his timeline no longer aligns with his organization's championship window. The Lakers are planning for sustained success over the next decade, while LeBron is operating within a window that realistically extends maybe 2 more seasons at most. These conflicting timelines create an impossible situation that can only be resolved through separation. The Western Conference reality adds another layer of urgency to this developing situation. The West is absolutely loaded with championship caliber teams, and the Lakers' current construction doesn't position them as a legitimate threat to the league's elite. For a player like LeBron, who's spent his entire career chasing championships and cementing his legacy, spending his final seasons on a team that's not genuinely competing for titles represents the ultimate nightmare scenario. What makes this potential trade even more logical is the value that LeBron could still command on the open market. Despite his age, his production levels and championship experience would make him incredibly attractive to teams that are one piece away from serious contention. The Lakers could potentially extract significant assets in return, young talents and future picks that would accelerate their rebuild around Doncic. The financial implications of moving LeBron also work in the Lakers' favor. His substantial salary commitment could be redirected towards surrounding Luka with the kind of complementary pieces that championship teams require. Instead of paying superstar money to a player who's transitioning out of his prime, they could invest those resources in players whose primes align with their new timeline. From LeBron's perspective, a mid-season trade could represent his final opportunity to join a genuine championship contender. Teams like Miami, Golden State, or other veteran-laden organizations could provide the kind of championship-focused environment where his remaining skills would be maximized. rather than wasted on a rebuilding project disguised as contention. The emotional complexity of this situation extends beyond just basketball strategy. LeBron brought the Lakers their first championship in a decade. He chose Los Angeles partly for family reasons, to establish roots in a city where his post-basketball empire could flourish. Leaving would represent the end of not just a basketball chapter, but a life chapter that encompasses much more than just sports. But professional sports are ultimately about winning, and winning requires difficult decisions. The Lakers' commitment to Luka Doncic represents their belief that he provides the best path to sustain championship contention. If that's true, then holding on to LeBron out of sentimentality while his value depreciates would represent organizational malpractice. The potential trade packages that could develop around LeBron create fascinating possibilities for both sides. The Lakers could target young players like Caleb Martin and additional assets that provide immediate help for Luka while maintaining flexibility for future moves. The acquiring team would get a future Hall of Famer who's still producing at an elite level and could be the missing piece for their championship puzzle. What makes this situation particularly tragic is how avoidable it might have been. If the Lakers had committed fully to LeBron's timeline, surrounded him with the necessary pieces, and made championship pursuit their singular focus, we might not be having this conversation. Instead, their decision to pivot toward the future, while LeBron still had prime years remaining, has created this inevitable conflict. The timing of a potential midseason trade adds another dimension to consider. Trade deadline deals create immediate chemistry challenges and adjustment periods that could benefit neither side. However, if the Lakers start the season poorly and LeBron's frustration becomes apparent, a February trade might represent the most practical solution for everyone involved. Looking at the broader NBA landscape, LeBron's availability would create a feeding frenzy among contending teams. The combination of his on-court production, championship experience, and marketing value would make him the most sought-after trade target in recent memory. The return package could be substantial enough to accelerate the Lakers' rebuild significantly. As painful as it is to contemplate, this potential trade represents the natural evolution of professional sports. Championships require difficult decisions, and sometimes those decisions involve parting ways with beloved players whose timelines no longer align with organizational goals. The Lakers' commitment to Luka suggests they're prepared to make exactly those kinds of difficult choices. What do you think about the possibility of LeBron being traded during the season? Could this really be the end of his Lakers tenure? Or will loyalty and legacy keep the king in Los Angeles? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and hit that like button if you believe this trade speculation has merit.